was built to last. With the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past. With all I'm achieving, got my foot on the gas. Never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna end.
I want to be the best. Is all about just narrating any type of stories, all random stories from conspiracy theories to horror to mystery to relationships, even some stories from the Bible. We're going to be going over every type of story that can make a good story. So I'll let AI come up with some. I'll come up with some of my original. But for today, just starting off, I'm probably going to use the AI for a little while just so I can start getting a grip on where I want this channel to go. So I'm kind of just throwing everything together right now, kind of like a rough draft, to try to just see what my niche really is. So today's story was from AI, and I wanted to hear a story that was about never giving up and staying committed in a marriage or in a relationship. So I thought this was AI came up with some Chat GPT, to be more honest. Came up with a really good one. I really liked this, especially towards the end. And I guess that's all I have to say for now. But I hope y'all enjoy the story, and I will see y'all in the fourth one. Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by lush green fields and rolling hills, lived two young souls named Emily and Jack. They met in college, and it was love at first sight. After a whirlwind romance, they decided to tie the knot and start their journey together. Their early years were filled with laughter, excitement, and adventure. They would take long walks, have deep conversations, and support each other's dreams. Emily was a free-spirited artist, while Jack was a practical engineer. Despite their differences, they complemented each other perfectly, and their marriage was filled with joy and love. However, as the years went by, life began to take its toll on their relationship. Jack's demanding job schedule and Emily struggling with her art career put a strain on their time together. They started to grow apart, and the arguments began to pile up. They would fight over the smallest things, from whose turn it was to do the dishes, to whose fault it was that their social life had dwindled. One day, after a particularly heated argument, Emily felt like giving up. She thought to herself, maybe we're just not meant to be. Maybe we've grown too far apart. But something inside her refused to let her go. She remembered the words they had spoken during their engagement, through thick and thin, through sickness and in health, until death do us part. She decided to hold on to their commitment, no matter how hard it got. She had realized that every argument wasn't a reflection of their love, but a reflection of their growth and maturity as individuals. She had made a conscious effort to listen to Jack, to understand his perspectives, and to find common ground. Jack, on the other hand, was struggling with his own demons. He felt like he was failing Emily, like he wasn't good enough for her. He was working long hours, trying to provide for their family, but in the process, he was neglecting their relationship. He felt like he was losing his wife, his best friend. One evening, as they sat on the couch staring at each other with tears in their eyes, Jack finally broke down and confessed his fears. Emily listened with an open heart and mind, and for the first time, they had a real conversation about their struggles. They talked about their goals, their dreams, and their fears. They laughed together and they cried together. From that moment on, they made a conscious effort to stay committed to each other. They started taking couples therapy, they started scheduling regular date nights, and they made time for each other. They learned to communicate, to listen, and to understand each other's needs. Their relationship wasn't perfect, but they learned to navigate its imperfections together. They learned that every argument wasn't a sign of failure, but it was a sign of growth. They learned that love wasn't about avoiding problems, but about facing them together. And as the years went by, their marriage continued to thrive. They had children, their love only grew stronger. They became each other's rock, each other's safe haven, and each other's best friend. One day, as they sat on their porch holding hands and watching their children play, Emily turned to Jack and said, "Do you know why I never gave up on us?" Jack looked at her with tears in his eyes and replied, "Because you knew our love was worth fighting for." In that moment, they both knew that their commitment to each other had been the key to their success. They had learned that marriage wasn't about having it all together, but about working together to have a love that would last a lifetime. As the sun set over the hills, Emily leaned into Jack and whispered, "I'm so glad I never gave up on us." Jack smiled and replied, "Me too, my love. Me too."